Alrighty, so I believe I should be live, and hello everybody, welcome back to UKSG. I hope you enjoyed that Sonic 06 run. That was a lot of fun. Well done, Lickster. That's what Sega were doing in 2006, making a broken game with their Blue Hedgehog, and in 1995 they decided to make a broken game with their Red Echidna. So that's where this is, and we did have a bid war going on. So any news on the bid war? Has somebody sniped? What's going on with that?
I can certainly double check for you. At the moment, Espio the Chameleon is the winner.
Alrighty. Well, I think there was a big donation near the end there, so well done to, I think that was Mendez who put the money towards that.
It sure was. So donations will be closing. Thank you for everyone who donated for the bid.
I did try for my boy Knuckles, but it wasn't enough. So, right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of talking to do about this run, and there's a lot of time in the run to do the talking, so we are gonna get ready. We start the timer when we've selected our stage, so this must have been a practice, so let's delete this, and then we will be ready to go. I assume the timer's ready, so I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. So Knuckles Chaotix. This game was released for the Sega, the ill-fated 32X. Which I believe, in the sort of grand scheme of things, when Sega were releasing consoles at around that time, this released in Japan about 5 months off when the Sega Saturn was being released. So it was never really given the chance to be good, I guess. So this marvel in technology offered, I believe, 4 times the power of the original Genesis. And what did they use to capitalize on that newfound power? They made this. So we tried a little door skip there, but it wasn't going to happen. But we've got to use this funky, like, telemechanic. So we are playing with SPA right now, and we're playing with Knuckles, but we're going to ditch Knuckles, sadly, because he is not what we need for a good speedrun. So these are the tutorial levels. You're going to find the first use of a sort of... It's not a glitch, it's a sort of fun mechanic of the game, these flings that we can do to ascend the levels. We only use it in the tutorials because you'll find out how we move in the proper stages. So we're just trying to do the fasts with Knuckles and SBA at the moment. And they seem to be doing quite well. They are linked in holy matrimony. As you can see, they're holding their rings. They don't really do finger rings in the Sonic universe because well, I mean, they all wear gloves. How can you show that you are wedded when you've got gloves on? So we're doing some more flinging. Didn't quite get as high up as we needed to. We did this time. A little bit of manoeuvring, and then hopefully we can just keep on going up most of the way. There we go. Lovely, lovely. So we are now onto the final part of the tutorial. Probably the easiest bit of it, because we do just go up. He says that as he sort of screws things up a little bit. Somebody's pointing out the minus rings. This will come into play a little bit later on. I'm just sort of doing a little flex at the moment with them. So we finished the tutorial. We have a funny little scene transition, and then we pick our main character for the game, which is going to be Charmy B. Now, usually when I do full runs of this game, I pick Mighty, as he's the next lightest character, and I have a sort of muscle memory for picking Mighty out of this combi catcher, but I've got to pick Espio, which I've done first time. So there is a risk. As you saw, there were 2 characters either side that were heavy. Heavy and Bomb are the clown characters of this game. Heavy is exactly what you think he is. He's just an anvil. And Bomb is exactly what you think Bomb would be. A bomb, and that's the last thing that we want to be taking on our adventures. So we have got SVA, who's got probably the best idle animation in the game that you will see later on, but we go straight into Techno Tower. You realise that there's no no particular format to the stages and how they run. So we have just been thrown into Techno Tower. And I wish that I could say that the order of the levels is something for me to know and for you to find out, but it's something for both of us to find out because I have no idea how it's going to happen. So, the minus rings, what's going on with that? As you can see, we're about to have a time and ring bonus countdown. Because we've got minus 800, the bonus countdown is very short. Instead of counting down that 5,000 or so that we had, it doesn't. It only takes away 100 because of our minus ring count. I have no idea why that was in there, whether that was intended by the developers. I think there are a lot of things in this game that weren't intended by the developers, but here we are. Here we are. Let's see what stage we get this time. So we're spamming the dash button so that we don't waste too much time in picking our stages. We are now in Botanic Base. That has got some lovely music, but for the first stage, we don't get to hear much of it. Now this game in slopes, I wouldn't say that the characters are friends with the slopes. Quite often they just decide to ignore how they function. So let's see if we can get a slope glitch here. No, we didn't quite. So there is a way of just completely wrapping through slopes, which you'll see later on, but I was hoping that we could pull it off in this stage. Now, I hit a blue ring box earlier on in the stage, and I'm trying to get rid of Espio as much as I can because we hit a secret bonus. Having minus rings doesn't get rid of the secret bonus. So now we've got a long countdown, which means we're not going fast in the game. So the flying at the camera is a result of me trying to get rid of rings, and it's supposed to be a callback function. So if Espio ended up getting caught in the level and I couldn't bring him along with me, I could just press that button and then it would sort of resolve itself. So we've had 2 levels so far. We have got 25 in total, and so 25 in total doesn't sound too bad. It just sounds like a lot of memorization. Every stage has 4 different variations. So Merida Madness, we are currently in the nighttime stage for it at the moment. Which doesn't particularly matter, like we don't need to be too concerned about what time we are playing this stage in. But it does become a concern when we play different stages, because time of day, there are 4 different times of day, and different sort of time of day changes mean that the ring layout is different, and that the box, like what's in item boxes, changes. So there's a lot to keep an eye on and remember. It isn't sort of a case of remembering inputs, it's just a case of remembering what the game's throwing at you and how to overcome it. So we're just doing a little bit of flinging and holding. Holding is another mechanic that you'll see me use not very often, but it's good to sort of maintain speed. And in fact, I was mentioning the funky slopes. This is where you find out how funky the slopes really are. So Merida Madness, I know how much ST likes this music, he's even in the chat talking about it. So we want to get through this. I'm not sure how feasible this is with Espio actually. He might be a bit too big. I know that Charmy can clip through this slope, but we want to get either Espio or Charmy through this little slope here because it skips most of the level. And it can save us a lot of time depending on what we're trying to do. So we'll go for it. And to be honest, I don't know what I'd do if I don't, because I don't know the proper layout of the stage. I rely on this clip to get me through most of it. But Espio's hitbox should allow us to pass through. Yeah, so this would be a reset point at this point, because we're not doing this particularly fast. But enjoy the music. A lovely 32-bit experience that people have been... It was so acclaimed of the 32X. Espio just isn't budging. I think we'll keep on going for another 20 seconds or so, and if neither of them want to pass through, then we're gonna have to try and keep going through this stage as normal, which I hadn't really planned for. So yeah, it might be a bit of a yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum. But maybe SVA will go through, maybe Charmy will go through. It doesn't look like it, so we will just keep on going. So I believe we go down here. Just do a little bit of passing through. We've got to go up here. Ooh, actually, clip here. There we go. And we are at the end of the stage. That was completely unplanned. That's just how slopes work in Chaotix sometimes. That was amazing. Yeah. It just does that sometimes. There we go. Lo and behold, you saw what was supposed to happen in that stage, but not quite what was supposed to happen. We'll have some more slope shenanigans coming up soon. So now you see that we're in a different time of day. We are in the morning. So hopefully we get amazing arena, because that would be good RNG. Techno Tower. Okay, could be worse. Could be worse. Yeah, enjoy the music. I reckon this has got the best music of the classic Sega anthropomorphic animal platformers. I don't think we'll mention the name of the blue guy. He gets enough credit anyway. So this, I didn't think I'd ever say this about a Sonic game, but this gives us good spring RNG. You'll notice there are blue springs in this game. This is such a weird bit of trivia, but... So in some classic games, you have a yellow spring, which is sort of mild power, and then you have a green spring, you have a red spring that sort of launches you. So the blue spring, instead of just flinging one character, it transfers the momentum to both characters so that they both get flung up regardless of who hits it. Does it sound like it makes sense? But trust me, it does. Actually, scrap that. This game makes no sense at all. So we're in Techno Tower again. Hopefully we're going to get another quick time on it. I think Techno Tower's music isn't quite on par. Let's try that again. Not quite on par with the other stages, but I mean, they're all pretty good. So we might clip through the slope here. No, we didn't. It seems like SBO just doesn't want to budge today. Oh, Charmy, almost making it. We're going to get rid of rings because we don't want too many at this stage. There we go. Do we have any donations that have come in since the start of the run?
No donations, but if I don't know how Sonic can't not be fast, but yeah. I would just like to reiterate that all donations that we do get today are for a good cause and supporting Crisis, a charity that supports homelessness for the good. And other than that, I wish you luck with the rest of your run.
I mean, this game is pretty much pure luck for a good time at least. But
so you're gonna need it.
Thank you. No, yeah, this game for a top time, you're sort of praying that the RNG favors you, and the RNG favored me yesterday because I got the world record for the game. It's a 3-year-old record, which I beat, which was quite the moment after spending 8 months or so with the game. Sure. Races here and there and different events it's been on, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very happy, and the fact that getting to do it just before a marathon, sort of, it gets you in the zone. You know, you feel good coming into it. So, I mean, at the moment, in terms of what the game offers, there's nothing too special. So, I mean, I could either rope the host into asking questions, or if the chat have any questions, because this game raises a lot of questions, and I can see why not many people really touch the game, because it's rather janky. And it might not seem very user friendly, and unlike other Sonic games where the maps are more horizontally, but yeah, just making sure I got the right word there. Rather than vertical, these games are very vertical. So yeah, luckily we got good RNG in this stage, so we got the enlarger box, which means we've got the big B. And he is kind of fast. A little too fast for my liking. Didn't make best use of him. Oh yeah, the music is special. This game is brilliant. It's definitely, I'd say that it's one of the most charming Sonic games out there. You choose the category name. Well, beat the game. There is another category for the best ending, which involves you collecting what the video game wants you to know as holy rings or chaos rings, but we prefer to call them chaos fruit loops because, well, I mean they look a bit more colourful and a little more whimsical than holy rings. I think that's the Japanese lore behind the game. Yeah, but so we got Botanic Base again. No fancy skips here. Some casino night. Well, Jun Sonoe, the sort of behemoth of Sonic music writing, did work on this game. So I think inspirations have carried over a little bit. So we have actually got good RNG for this stage. We need to hit that button to progress. And we can be Big B again. We sort of fling ourselves through this stage a little bit. Ooh, thank you SBA, come back. And then the elevators are the downtime, especially the ones that you have to go down on. Because if you don't go down, well, you can skip the elevators if you're going up, which is useful. But we can't go down, if that makes sense. So a decent time for that, making sure that we're throwing away SBA as much as we can so that that bonus doesn't count down. A little sip. So I am currently running this on emulator, but I was quite lucky the other day to find a combination of a region-modded 32X and a Sega Mega Drive. So at some point I will be trying to run this on original hardware. Which emulation for this game has always been a little bit shaky, so it will be nice to give that a go at some point. See somebody raising the point about bosses. That's a very good question. Yes, there are. That's all I can really say about them. Like, they are there, but they don't really offer much in terms of, I don't know, challenge. You'll see what I mean when we get to the fifth stage of some of our levels. So we're currently we've been on Techno Tower 4. We are currently on Botanic Base 4. So sooner or later we will hit a boss. Ah, Wolfman knows. It's very amusing. I participated in a race for this for a Sega-based marathon, and two commentators who they knew enough about the game to talk about it, and they just couldn't keep track of who was ahead because all of the stages are random, and you just have no idea. Like, it's very hard to keep track of who's going where, who's doing what. But I have a rough idea. We're progressing through the game. That's as far as I can say. Not the best pace at all, but no, nothing to shake a stick at. So we can't lose much time in the hub worlds. Quite often I do, because I just forget that I'm thrown. Like, every time there's a pause in a stage, I think, oh, time to relax. It's much more forgiving in terms of time management than other classic Sonic games, but still, it's rather, yeah. You have got to be on the ball to some extent. So this is Merida Madness 3. We are going to have another go at another skip through a funky slope. So either Charmy or SBO will clip through this. You can see SBO is just absolutely ricocheting everywhere. And you'll hear me tapping furiously on my controller, trying to get through. If anybody knows of the Eric Andre meme of the "Let me in," this is effectively what I'm trying to do now. So we're going to do a bit of holding. Oh, there we go. Charmy's through. And then we get on this button. And have some lovely music. Oh, minus 10 rings. Minus 14. We'll take that. And a 44. Not too bad. Not amazing. But we're showing off the fancy stuff here. So on Merida Madness 3. We are on Techno Tower 4, and we are on Botanic Base 4. Well, we've done Botanic Base 4 and those ones, I believe. Even I can't keep track of the game, and I've run it for 8 months. Yeah, if you caught a short glimpse of that stage board as we went past it, you might know where I am, but I don't know where I am. We haven't had a speed slider yet, which is interesting. Speed slider is literally what it says on the tin. It is the fastest stage in the game, and it's the token sort of carnival-esque zone, sort of casino. They try and go for that vibe in pretty much every Sonic game, so we're going to try and do this, and then we want to pick up that enlarger box, and we are heading up to the first boss of the game. Ooh, lost some rings, not ideal. And then we go up. See how OP Charmy's flying is? It is quite impressive. The power of the 32X, a lovely cutscene. One of the very few cutscenes that actually, no, we get some decent cutscene. So look at those cubes, everybody. The power of the 32X. And then we are just gonna cheese this boss as much as we can. Don't want to get hit by those red arms. SBO can, because he only loses 1 ring at a time. And that was the boss. Not really much more I can say about that, apart from avoid the arms, hit the middle, you'll be fine. So that is Techno Tower. That is the last you'll see of Techno Tower in this run. I mean, unless something crashes. But, unlike Sonic 1 and 2, this does have an autosave function. So we should, in theory, be safe from any mishaps, but I'm tempting fate at the moment by suggesting that something catastrophic may happen. Let's see, speed slider. Here we go. This is a lot of fun. Like I mentioned, the token sort of casino, carnival, circus type act, and we talked about the vertical emphasis in this game. This is where it comes into full effect. This is effectively the go up and go right stage. Ooh, didn't quite make that jump, but we will come in at about 16 seconds. You feel like if you wanted to make a challenge, I mean this is a speedrun, but 16 seconds to complete a stage is quite obscene, and I imagine if anybody else has seen any Sonic speedruns over the years, it's a little bit different, but also there's a lot of execution going on, and it's a little more vague because Charmy can fly literally anywhere at his own pace, but yeah, it's unique to say the least. We're getting speed slider again, and I believe this one is a little more complex. Now stay with me on this one. So the last one was go up and then go right. I hope you can stay with me on this one. So we're going to start off, we're going to go right. So we go left a little bit with a loop, then we go up, shocker, and then we go right. We're going up and right, and then we proceed to proceed to go up and right, and that's the stage. This game never ceases to amaze me. So yes, we were about halfway through on each stage at the moment. Apart from Amazing Arena, we are yet to have Amazing Arena rear its ugly head into this run. It is quite possibly my least favourite set of stages. It was definitely my least favourite to learn because the maps for them are so big and there are so many chances to go wrong. So let's see what Chaotix. And lo and behold, I invited it to come into this run. We are heading to Amazing Arena with good RNG. So, you know the format, up and right. Not quite here. So instead, we've got to hit a button in Amazing Arena every time we play it, because if we don't turn on the lights. And there is a aim in this stage that you've got to turn off the lights for whatever reason. So because we didn't have enough rings, we lost Espio for that little moment. We need him for this elevator to activate. And yes, there are a lot of elevators like this around this stage, and they can take you anywhere, so I have to know where each one will go. But Big B again. Big B! And we're already at another elevator. Big B, Big Charmy, is quite the sight to behold. He is the chungus of this run. So there we go. And there we go. Around about a minute is what we want from that stage. Very, very nice. So Amazing Arena sort of breaks the mold a little bit. It's still got the very vertical emphasis, but no, we do what we can in Amazing Arena. There aren't any sort of slopes that we can go into that can just transport us right to the end of the stage like we had in Merida Madness. Again, I was just completely not expecting that. It just did what it wanted to there. Let's see, can we get a hat-trick of Amazing Arenas? Lo and behold, Amazing Arena, we are on a streak right now. Actually no, we've only played one Amazing Arena. What am I talking about? See, I lose track of the runs. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, somebody, Kokens has mentioned a heavy and bomb run, or a bomb and heavy run. I have never done it myself, and it's actually physically impossible to do it in a game, but I've been tempted to try one. So bomb and heavy, their moveset, they're both extremely heavy. The heavy is, as you would expect. I don't think we've got good RNG. We have. Let's go. Yes, heavy is heavy. And bomb, if you get hit by an enemy, will explode. So you don't really want either of them. And having both of them is very hard, because as you saw the flings earlier that I was doing with Knuckles in the tutorial, you can do those with those two, but they're incredibly slow. So I think it would definitely be a meme run, and it would take nearer, probably over 2 hours, compared to this taking nearer, hopefully under an hour at this rate. So yeah, are there any notices you'd like to bring up? Any donations that we've had so far?
Sure, we have a donation from, I believe it's Ders, D-E-R-S.
Nice.
He says, "Do I hear a $5 hype train in the distance? Let's do this.
Choo choo.
Congrats on your world record, Hibnotix. Keep up the great work."
Thank you, Durs.
Yes, thank you. And he also put his $5 towards Broly's story in Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Keep them coming.
Yeah, let's start that train going. Dragon Ball Z, that's one game that I feel like I need to look into more. Looks like it's some good fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what stage I'm in. I'm in Amazing Arena 3, so this is the light switch that we've got to hit. And we've got a door switch to hit that SBO almost helped us out with. Oh, somebody saying that it's too colourful. That's bold. I reckon this has all the right colours, personally. So we've got to avoid that blue ring box there, otherwise we get our secret bonus, which is not what we want. So we're going to get rid of the rings, like that. And there we go, a 51 second, not too bad for Amazing Arena 3. If I end up saying the wrong name for the stage that I'm in, I apologise. At this moment, this game, like, it's just a blur to me. I end up just saying the complete wrong thing. It's not the marathon nerves, it's just that this game is genuinely confusing. And to add to the confusion, there is the ability to have a friend act as the partner for this game. So co-op runs haven't been done, but they are entirely possible. So there may be plans on the horizon for trying that out with either one of the other runners for this game, Protosonic, or a good speed pal of mine, S2, who is in the chat. So, were you missing the stages that go up and right? I sure hope so, because we are getting one of those right now. Got to get off at that platform. And then up, right. That's the power of the 32X, a lovely 3D platform there. Up and right. Just over 20 seconds. 20 seconds is a sweet spot for most of the stages in this game. Lovely, lovely stuff. But yeah, the 32X and the games on it never really stood a chance when the Sega Saturn came out. It wasn't really given time to flourish, and I believe there was a total of 40 games released for the 32X. Which may not seem too bad, but it was nowhere near enough, and I think the price of it was extortionate for the time. Especially when the competitors were starting to up their game, and yeah, the Saturn was the first, well, the 32X was the first step that led to the Saturn, the Dreamcast, and then the inevitable end of Sega and their consoles. But they've been showing a lot of love for some of their games recently with the 60th anniversary, so I can hope that they might think of re-releasing this game. They wouldn't really have much reason to. It'd be nice. So that was a 14-second stage. You don't get to enjoy the music in this game at all. It's not allowed because we're going too fast. And then we will go back to the hub world. So this might be a bold claim, but I think this game has had a bigger influence on the games preceding it than Sonic 2. Now, Sonic 2, I know how beloved that game is, and it's a brilliant speed game, a lot of incredible runners for that game, but Knuckles Chaotix is really, like, there's a lot of stuff that's been taken from it and sort of repurposed or reused in future games. So the blue ring box, which we see quite often around here, a lot of sound effects have been reused for the games. A lot of other good reasons for why this game is influential do exist, but I think they are completely going from my brain right now. Yeah. Just take my word for it, it's very influential. A cult classic, if you will. So we want to go down here. SB wants to come with us. There we go. And we're at another boss stage. Another beautiful cutscene. The cutscenes also change depending on the time of day. There are 4 variations of each cutscene, 4 variations of each stage, so technically there are 100 variations for each stage. See, sort of circusy boss music. SB is taking all the hits for us right now, which is nice because we don't want Charmy to lose a whole load of rings. And I believe we are 1 hit away, and there we go. Rekel, thank you for the raid. Well done on your Donkey Kong run earlier, that was a lot of fun. And I hope your Goose Game was good. So this is Knuckles Chaotix, the Sega 32X. Never heard of it, didn't think so. Yeah, this game is very special, and it holds a place in my heart. probably mainly because of Knuckles, but it has a lot of charm to it, which I'll continue to say because I think that's the only redeeming feature that it has. So we're back on Merida Madness. We have got the person who preaches about how good Merida Madness sounds in the chat. S2, he's obsessed. And I hope you agree with him, because I think this is some banging music. Probably going to be quiet, because it gives you guys gives you a lot of chance to enjoy it. I'll do a bit of dancing. If there are any dance emotes in the chat, then that will add to the atmosphere. Nothing crazy in this stage. No special skips. No special raps. Oh, we've got some sour pleasers going. Yes, that's what I like to see. And that's as much as you hear of that stage. You get to hear a little bit more in Merida Madness 5, but that's as far as it goes with that stage. Yes. Wolfman, you tell him. And like even the hardboiled music, there's been a lot of, it's weird. I think in terms of aesthetics and sound, like the display of this game, I'd see it as a work of art if you just ignore the gameplay. Like gameplay is somewhat important for a video game, but if you can find it in your heart to forgive appalling level design in gameplay and just see the lovely music and the lovely atmosphere of a game, then I think this game definitely stands for it. I think that's somewhat of a theme in the games that I enjoy. As long as it sounds and looks good, it's good in my book. So we're going to try another clip with the slopes here. SBO is doing some wall climbing because he's hardcore parkour. If this doesn't work, then we can skip through it. But this is more intentional this time than the last one that we had in Merida Madness. It's a little harder with SBO because he does like to do his wall climbing. Because, as I've mentioned, he is the token ninja of the series. So Charmy can wrap through himself, I believe. There's a very specific spot and point where I would have to press the button, but I think if we reach the minute point and we haven't made it, we'll just go. We'll just go. Oh, there we go. Lovely stuff. So yeah, that was a wall. Just pretend it wasn't there. Never existed. We can try and click through that slope as well, but that one's a little bit harder and it doesn't quite save as much time. So we are opting to go the long way around. I believe up here. Yes, lovely. Oh look, Mighty's here. Little change of pace. Mighty is who I'd usually go for in a full game run of this. But I mean, he does the job. This has got some good music as well. Merida Madness has the real estate in good music. So this boss, we see the almighty power of the 32X. As this boss looks intimidating, it doesn't actually do anything in this state. We get damaged if we hit it. SBO will take a little bit of damage for us there, but Charmy's too small. And then the boss gets rid of that, and we will try and get the wedge here. So almost got the wedge, which is what we want to do with SBO and Charmy, where SBO is at the bottom and Charmy is at the top. So we get very quick hits as quick as we can. And there we go. A lot of love in the chat going on. Subs are greatly appreciated to help the upkeep of ESA so that these events can go on. Thank you to ESA for letting UKSG use their platform and to make a difference for Crisis. Crisis the charity, of course. I'm not using Crisis as an adjective. Adjective. There we go. So I see another question about the minus rings. So we want to end each stage on minus rings so that we avoid a long countdown. We might see this a little more clearly in this stage. We will see. So it's good RNG. Is this 5 or 4? No, this is bad RNG. Alrighty, so we just got to do a lot of flying in this stage. So he's helping us out a little bit. And whilst I do say getting rid of rings is very important, when it comes to stage 5 of each level, I do actually have to think about keeping rings because I've got a boss fight. And I don't want to be in a position where I might game over, well, not game over, but lose a life. Not even lose a life because this game doesn't have a life counter. So if you end up dying in a stage, it warps you back to the hub world and you have to redo the stage that you failed again, which, I mean, if we look at other Sonic games that have done that, in terms of getting rid of lives, the most recent example I can think of is Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, so maybe we won't make those comparisons. I think this is a much better game than Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. Just take my word for it. So, with any other character, this boss would be an absolute pain. But as it stands, we've got Charmy, and he can get a little wedge here. We didn't quite get it that time. See if we can do it this side. It's a good position. Not quite. But we are just mashing against Robotnik. We should be taking damage on the electricity. We will now. But we can just fly out, get the last hit, and get rid of SVA. So you see we're on -9 rings. If you look at our countdown, we have a time bonus, and we have our -900 ring bonus. So instead of the 3000 counting down from the time bonus, it only takes 100 off, which means our countdown is like that, instead of a long sort of process, a long boring old process. Somebody's saying this is the only good Sonic game speedrun. I'm afraid to tell you, this isn't a Sonic game. This is a Knuckles game. I'm greatly offended that this was branded as the Sonic block and not the Knuckles block. I'm not at all. I was about to say, we only get about 3 minutes of Knuckles in his game, so if anything, I'm the person that people should be having a go at. So back in Amazing Arena, my favourite stages of the game. And it's elevators, so it's the resident sleeper level. There's not much exciting stuff going on. Just do a lot of climbing. This is our light switch for the stage. It'd be lovely if one of you hit it. There we go. Calmly hit it. And then we've got to go this way. Ooh, don't hit that. Okay, yeah. No worries. Lexi Doodle, you raise a very good point. This may have been finished, but I think the developers left things in that they didn't mean to. By saying that, I mean like Charmy's ability to infinitely fly. I feel like that shouldn't have been a feature in the game, and it might have just been like a beta sort of tester way of learning about the stages. You can see that we're flying around those rooms as quick as we can. They are sort of mini-boss rooms, and we don't want anything to do with those. They waste our time, we can't escape from them, and all they give... Controller gone. All they give us are extra rings, and in this run we don't want extra rings. If we were doing an all Chaos Fruit Loops run, we would be aiming for 50 rings per stage, and then we enter a secret stage, special stage, which I will admit takes much better advantage of the 32X than any of this does. So we're coming up to the final stage, the final, well, proper stage. We're nowhere near time yet because we have got a final boss. So yes, Amazing Arena, we can wave goodbye to it at soon, which is nice because I don't like this stage. So again, we've got to be clever with the elevators that we take. We've still got a light switch to hit. We don't want to get hit by some enemies that are waiting for us just down here. Yeah, the Fruit Loops is a little bit of an inside joke. They are indeed Chaos Rings or Holy Rings. The Japanese law of the game presents them as. but Fruit Loop sounds a whole lot better, doesn't it? So we want to take this elevator. We do a little bit of walking down, and then the typical format, go up, go right, and you can win the game. So, sort of overshot that a little bit, and lost a lot of rings. It's only a boss fight we've got to worry about, so no worries. Again, the format of going up and right, losing more rings. Could really do with not losing rings, because I have got a boss battle. All of the slowdown that you're seeing is more emulation error than you would see on a traditional piece of hardware, but there is still a little bit, despite the raw power that the 32X supposedly gave. It was still not quite enough to render rings in a Sonic game, which is a bit obscene. So another quick cutscene, and the boss does its intimidation tactics. Looks all foreboding. It's picking up its cannon. Whatever shall we do? I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Which we are just going to avoid that big arm. We're going to let SBO do a lot of the hits for us, and bam! That is the last sort of stage boss of the game, and we are going to enter the final parts of the game where everything gets a little more serious. We're in dangerous territory. Everything seems quite straightforward, but this is where, in fact, this has actually been where a lot of my PB runs have died, because we are up at a pause buffer central moment of the game. So I'm going to do a lot of pause buffering to try and hit the X box, not the Xbox, but the X box of this little section here. And the way I do that is by hitting the button at the exact time it's highlighted. So we're going to do pause buffering, and hopefully that was on X. There we go. It'd be nice if we could get a clean sweep of this. Okay, so it's going that way around. That might have been on 3. That was on 3. So I think we've got missiles to avoid. Yep. It's not too bad. We don't need SBO for this section, really. So I think that was on X that time. Lovely. SBO will come back very soon, it seems. We were on X that time. There we go. Beep, beep. There we go. So that's that section done, and now we move on to the real final boss. So we have another cutscene. What's going on? Eggman's got this big ring. What's he gonna do? He's got a slightly worn out Metal Sonic. He's taking the power from that Chaos Ring. Metal Sonic is gonna go up with him. What will this lead to? Oh my goodness, it's led to this absolute monstrosity that is Metal Sonic Kai. Spelled K-A-I. I don't know what the name, why that's like that, but this is, yeah, things get a little more scary at this point. So we have done the first phase with hitting his arms, but we've got to hit his yellow pad there. And we still take hits despite getting the part of the boss that we're supposed to. We do want to keep that one ring because it will help us with the final section. It's going quite well so far. We're keeping our ring quite well, and there we go. That was a quick little thing there. So now we've got to hit his belly. We might get another sneaky hit in there. We didn't. Let's see if we can get that ring before it fades out. Lovely stuff. See if we can get a double hit there. There we go. Lovely stuff. Thank you, SBA. Another hit. We might get another hit in there. Ooh, okay, so SBA's gone from the competition. Okay, so we can't afford to take another hit, otherwise we game over and we have to do that funny box sequence again. And that is the final hit. Time is coming up in 3, 2, 1, time. I didn't give much notice for that. But this is quite possibly the biggest slap in the face you can have in gaming. So because we didn't get all of the Chaos Rings, Chaos Fruit Loops, Holy Rings, whatever you want to call them, this is the ending that we are treated to. All of that effort that you put into supposedly destroying that final boss means absolutely nothing. So Metal Sonic is wreaking havoc on the world as we're sat here thinking that I just beat him. Like this makes no sense. That tornado is carrying a car. So yeah, that was Knuckles Chaotix Beat the Game. I hope you all enjoyed that. It's a very fun game to learn. There's a lot of learning to do, but it's not too hard to get the grips of when you know what you're doing, if that makes sense. So give a few shout outs. Thank you to all of you lot watching, everybody who's donated, anybody who's dropped a sub. Shout out to the Sonic speedrunning community. You're all pretty epic, and all the people who have backed me as I've learned and tried to take on this very silly game. So if you want to see me take on more silly games, I'm Hibnotix on Twitch and Twitter, and yeah, I mean that's all I can say. Did we get any more donations in whilst I was talking a lot?
Absolutely.
Ooh,
we got
lovely.
A donation from Race Pro UK for $10. And he didn't have a comment, but I personally would like to say that was a great run. I enjoyed it. Tremendous.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that everyone else here enjoyed it as well.
It's always a riot to sort of surprise people with this game, because I mean, unless you play it for yourself, you don't really know what's going on. So I recommend, if you've got a spare moment and you've got access to an emulator, you should definitely try and experiment with this game, I guess. So yeah, I think that's probably my closing words. Stick around. We have got Argic coming up with Sonic 4 Episode 1. This is probably the wonkiest Sonic block I've ever been a part of. Like Sonic 06, the most like broken game in the series, pretty much. We've got Sonic 4, like not many people like that game. I'm not going to say much more than that. And then we've got Sonic 3D Blast as well, which does indeed have a speedrun, which I always find amusing. So thank you for watching, and please stick around. It's been a blast, and see you all around.